Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel this fine Tuesday afternoon, and we got ourselves some Oilers news just after 3 o'clock official from the Edmonton Oilers. Came a good old tweet, ladies and gentlemen, though before we get to it, if you're new to the channel, you're tuning in for the first time, we talk Edmonton Oilers all the time. We've started this new tradition on Saturdays where we do a ridiculous franchise mode with the Edmonton Oilers, accepting every trade the CPU throws at us. We talk Oilers all day, every day, as often as there is Oilers news to talk about, and I get home at a reasonable time, and we can actually come up with a topic. So definitely, if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Trying to hit that 8,000. It's going to be tough during COVID, but hey, playoffs are coming around the corner hopefully soon, and we'll get to that, and we'll celebrate all together if you do end up hitting that subscribe button. So, number one, what we need to get to. Whew, man, that's a small graphic. Come on, Tyson. You expect me to read that? No, I don't. Let's make it bigger. Release. Oilers signed Gaëtan Haas to a contract extension. Now, you hear it right there off the top. I pronounce it Gaëtan Haas. That's how I was first taught to pronounce it when he first signed back on July 1st. Now, that may not be the exact way to pronounce it because we've heard Gaëtan Haas pronounced from Kevin Quinn, Louis DeBrusque, all the broadcasters. So I'm still up in the air about this one. I like saying Gaëtan Haas. Makes me feel better about it. I don't know why. That said, the Oilers have signed our fourth line centerman, our 13th, 14th forward, wherever the heck he fits in, given the situation with health, given the situation with depth, whatever the situation may be with the Oilers roster at the current moment. Gaëtan Haas is an Edmonton Oiler. He's proved that over the past few months prior to the pause taking hold, the pause season beginning, and here we are talking about an extension now for the Swiss centerman. So, he signed a one-year contract extension through the 2021 season. Now, the details on this, you see a 304, like I said, 3 o'clock. The details are simple. $915K is the reported salary out of Jason Greger on Twitter. Now, what you need to know about Gaëtan Haas's $915 is that it's $40K higher than the $875 given to Joachim Nygard, who is, of course, the other Euro forward we signed last offseason to fill the roster and make it a more competitive team and push for the playoffs, as we did up until March 11th, the evening after the game against the Winnipeg Jets. Now let's hold on. The thing is, nobody remembers March 11th as a loss to the Jets. Everyone remembers it as our last game, which is good because that's a good thing, but just had to get that in there. All right, let's just quickly go over to Cap Friendly. I'll give you a little bit of the details. Gaëtan Haas for $915. What you need to know there with the Oilers is that now commits another player to the team for next year, but this is perfect. It all keeps working. Jim Matheson also did note there may be an non-opt-out clause for him to go back to the Swiss League if he's unhappy with the situation in Edmonton. Now, the thing is, I believe Gaëtan Haas is more of an Oiler than he is a European hockey player at this point, right? He's more of an Edmonton Oiler moving forward than he is a guy that's maybe going to be on that bubble. We talked about guys in Bold Predictions video in September 2019 about guys going back to Europe, right? I had it between Nygard, Haas, and of course Joel Persson. One of those three were going to go back to Europe mid-season. Turns out Joel Persson was traded at the trade deadline, so kind of sort of, but again, I didn't know which of which would go back. Thankfully, none of them technically did, and that's good news for the Oilers moving into this, now giving 2 of the 3 contract extensions for 2021. They did exactly what they were supposed to and proved themselves. So, now Gaëtan Haas will get that contract, $925, which was the ELC. He now goes down to $915 and is a UFA in the 2021 NHL season. That commits now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 NHL forwards on the roster as of the pause season. They are committed through next year's end. Whenever next year may begin, we're getting news that it may be December, maybe here, maybe now. Who the heck knows? We'll find out eventually. Lots of time for things to still be decided at this point. So, that leaves us. We've talked all about Gaëtan Haas and all these fun things. I haven't told you anything about him. Well, let's get to it, shall we? The news, the bulk of the stats that you so much so closely pay attention to. 58 games played for Gaëtan Haas. Remember, a lot of these games early on in the season, he did not see substantial ice time. He saw 2 to 5 to 6 minutes a game for an average ice time over the season of 942. 5 goals, 5 assists, 10 points in 58 games played. Solid, 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 right? Like, fourth line centerman for an Edmonton Oilers team, we're not complaining too much. What did Kyle Brodziak do last season, right? But 10 points in 58 games, not a bad go. Very impressed with quite a few things out of Gaëtan Haas, but we'll get to this in a moment. The even strength goals, perfect. Even strength assists, 4 assists, not bad. And the power play assist, good to go. And a shooting percentage, 9.3. So not like he was missing something, taking weak muffins. Like 9.3s, right in the middle for a fourth line forward. We're not too worried about it. Shot attempts, 94, 54 shots in 58 games played. Again, playing on the fourth line and getting that early ice time that he was. We're not complaining too much, because what happened with Gaëtan Haas, before we get to the face-off percentages, you have to look at the evolution, right? Is earlier in the season, before he got sent down to Bakersfield, where I believe he played 2 games, he was kind of tentative, didn't really know the pace of the NHL, and the thing that he didn't know the pace of was the physicality. He came back from Bakersfield with this sense that, hey, if I'm going to play in the NHL, I need to throw the body around. I need to be kind of that Josh Archibald prototype, right? You guys know I love Josh Archibald. Well, Gaëtan Haas, same thing. Got in the right places at the right time, threw the body when needed to be, and just had that little extra wrinkle, that extra edge to his game. And when he came back from Bakersfield, you know what? 10 times the hockey player he was in those first few games of the NHL season. And that, you know what? Realistically, you need those depth guys, and that's why I love the depth guys so much. You natter on about how great and incredible Connor McDavid is, and I'm not going to deny that. Problem is, every player has a deficit, and every player has an advantage in their game, and the benefit here that I love about these depth players is just that go to work, get the job done attitude. And trust me, I love 10 times out of 10 the get it done, go to work attitude over the skill game every time. Because if you have 12 guys going out there, no matter their skill level, to get the job done, they're going to get the job done probably better than the guys trying to outskill the other team, right? If you're trying to outskill, hey, there's ways to shut that down, as you've seen through hockey history. So I love these guys. The workhorses, the guys that go to work every night, get the job done, shut up, don't complain, and good to go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 9:42 ice time for Gaëtan Haas. Perfect. That perfect example of it, similar to what Mr. Josh Archibald delivers. Right hand shot, good go, and the other side too. I'm sorry, before I get to the face-off percentage, which is the one area we really need him to work on, ladies and gentlemen, that game, February 1st against the Calgary Flames, I know, it seems like a million moons ago. They play the replay on Sportsnet. It seems like it's 20 years ago at this point because of what March was. But wow. Hey, that penalty shot to end it. Let's go, Gaëtan Haas. Man, that was fire me up, nail in the coffin, put him to bed. That shows them who's boss. And hey, might have been our first victory of the year in the Battle of Alberta, but she was a statement win, no doubt about it. 42.2% in the face-off dot. Before we go, that's what we have to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. That is the deficit in Gaëtan Haas's game, is the face-off percentage. Now, obviously, adjusting to the NHL, these guys have been taking North American face-offs on North American ice for a lot of while, right? Like, if you're talking the guys he's going up against on the ice, they've been doing face-offs for a long time in the North American style, or else they've been doing it in that role for a couple of years. Gaëtan Haas, new to the NHL, yeah, you know what, 42.2. We've seen some of our superstars over the years not have great numbers, right? Similar numbers. If you want to quickly, I'm just going to, for the sake of argument, I'm going to bring up Connor McDavid just to kind of compare, right? I don't mean to contrast and compare, but you look at Connor McDavid, right? He's still a sub 50 guy, but those first 3 seasons, 41.2, 43.2, 41.4, and he was taking a heck of a lot more draws than Gaëtan Haas has taken this year. So it's nothing to go out there and panic about that, a 42.2% in his first year. But it's something that definitely needs work, and it's something that definitely can improve and make him a much better player. Think about this. If he's a guy who's in the right place at the right time, think about how many goals he scored this year that were tips. I think 4 of the 5, and the other being a penalty shot, were tipped goals. Think about that. If he's in those positions, How do you get into that position? You get possession. How do you get possession? You win a face-off in the offense zone. Bing, bong, boom. Well, all of a sudden you see that face-off percentage go from 42.2 to 49.50, and we're talking maybe 3, 4, 5 extra goals just from being in the right position for Gaëtan Haas. And at $915,000 on the cap next year, 10 goals, 12 goals of Gaëtan Haas, and a couple assists to get up there near 24 points. Dang, you've got yourself a heck of a signing, and the Edmonton Oilers did something right in bringing a guy in from Europe, giving him the time to succeed, working with him, and getting the job done, right? You see where all these mistakes of the past have really cultivated into a success machine, pretty much, a factory of success, if you would, under Dave Tippett and Ken Holland. Guys, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. That's your news for today. I will catch you in the next one.